Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I want to go over the latest batch of news for STO on both PC and console. As always, chapters to each topic are listed down below. First up, for those of us on PC, the brand new MUD's 32nd Century Legacy Choice Pack is going to be going live today and will be on an introductory 50% discount from October 3rd up through the 17th. If you want to learn more about this bundle, I have a full bundle breakdown video, which I'll have linked down below. And alongside the release of this new MUDs bundle, there is a separate MUDs sale going live on PC from October 3rd up through October 7th. This is 75% off all of the non-bundle items in the MUDs store. So if you're looking for any of the standalone ships, any of the space items or ground items, this 75% sale is good to take advantage of. If you're looking for some recommendations, I did do a stream going over most of these items earlier this year, and I'll have that link down below. And one item of note that is very controversial is, of course, the Nadarian Defender, also known as the Jellyfish. So if you don't have one and you're wanting to pick one up, it's going to be just over $40 during the sale. And a quick note for PC players, thanks to Primarch Anubis over on the STO subreddit, who brought attention to the fact that Alienware Arena still has some of the codes for some of the older Star Trek Online giveaways up. So specifically, they have some of the Star Trek Online Age of Discovery Spore Engineer giveaway codes and the Borg Assimilated Plasma Weapon codes. There's not too many left. They're unlikely to be restocked once used. If you've already used one of these codes, you can't use another. But if you're a newer player that never got these, then I'll have links to them down below. Again, there's just a couple hundred keys left for the Age of Discovery one, and just under 1,800 for the Borg Assimilated one, so get them while you can. And heading over to the PC patch note for today, they resolved an issue that was allowing the power from the polarity coil generator to appear on Captain's hotbars even when the console is not equipped. So I believe this is the console from the Temerian. This has been an issue ever since it was introduced into the game, so it's good to see that fixed. And I know that there's a similar issue going on with the Starship trait from the Premonition, Temporal Stasis Field. I know some people like that it works when it's not slotted, but it has been rather disruptive to those doing PvP, so hopefully we also see that resolved here soon. And before I get into the console side of things, I want to quickly shout out this post from STOBetter. As many of you know, there was recently a hurricane that hit the southeastern United States, Hurricane Helene, and it has caused a massive amount of damage to many folks in that region. Quite a few of our fellow STO players have been impacted by it, and one of the STOBetter team, Talor, was also hit by it. There's been some property damage that his insurance is going to cover, but they did lose a freezer full of food due to the power loss. So if you want to help them out, I do have a link to their Ko-fi page down below, and you can learn more about everything they're doing on the Reddit post, which I'll have linked. And heading over to the console side of things, you guys have an upgrade weekend starting today, running up through October 7th. So this is a great time to get any upgrades done. And you guys also have a 75% sale on all of the non-bundle items in the MUD store for the same time period. So today up through October 7th. And again, if you're looking for any recommendations on what standalone MUD ships, space items, or ground items are worth it, I do have a stream going over most of them from earlier this year, which I'll have linked down below. And the reason for this MUDs non-bundle sale is because console is getting 3 new items added to the MUD store: the Transmorphic Containment Universal Console, the Anaphasic Candle ground device, and the Dr. Beverly Crusher holographic bridge officer. Now, I covered these in a video about a month ago, so I'm going to reinsert that footage into this video. And pricing wise, it's 1,000 Zen for the holographic Dr. Beverly Crusher bridge officer, and she does come with an ultimate tech upgrade. Then for the Anaphasic Plasma Candle, that is 2,000 Zen, and that comes with just the candle and the Hold Candle emote. And then we have the Universal Console, which is also 2,000 Zen, and this comes with a single Ultimate Tech upgrade. The first item I want to look at is the Transmorphic Containment Console, which is something that you should absolutely not purchase. It is not worth your money. The passives on it are 21.4 Starship Control Expertise, 10% Flight Turn Rate, and +7 Aux Power setting. The clicky on this has a 2-minute recharge. It doesn't work with Uncon. It doesn't really scale up with most of the buffs out there. So it's got a long cooldown that you can't do much about, and it does not that much damage. So the only reason to go for it is if you just absolutely have to have this fire effect that it has, which I'll show you here, which you can see is not really doing too much damage. And the next addition here is the holographic Dr. Beverly Crusher Bridge Officer. So there's quite a few people that seem very fond of this bridge officer because of the space trait she has. A lot's happened in the last 20 years. But I can tell you, this trait is not worth using over a superior Romulan operative or watcher bridge officer. The two effects that this trait gives you is on activation of a beam or torpedo firing mode, you're going to gain bridge officer cooldown reduction for 5 seconds, but that can only happen once every 30 seconds. And that cooldown is just 1% each second for 5 seconds. So it's an incredibly small buff with a really, really long cooldown. And then the other part of this is on activation of a hull or shield repair bridge officer ability, you get a torpedo high yield 1, but that can only happen once every 45 seconds. So it's an interesting concept for a bridge officer, but the cooldowns on it are just too long, and the buffs that it gives just not powerful enough to make this a better option than an SRO or a Watcher, which are going to both provide you with a permanent crit chance and severity buff. So it's still a bridge officer that you might have fun with for ground, but if you're looking for the best options in space, the existing Watcher and SROs, in my opinion, are much better options. And the final addition for PC with the MUDs update today is the Anaphasic Plasma Candle. So this is from a TNG episode in which Beverly Crusher happens to find this candle, and it summons an entity that she sleeps with. So alongside getting this device, you're getting an emote here called Hold Anaphasic Candle. And here's the tooltip for the candle itself. So if you do happen to have the Beverly Crusher Bridge Officer, this does have a fun secondary effect there where it will give her plus 20 kit performance. And when this is used, it's going to summon an anaphasic entity for 60 seconds. Entity persists longer by possessing the body of fallen foes. So it's a neat little ground device. It doesn't do that much damage, but given it is something that you can just put into a device slot, a lot of people end up running it. I don't think that it's a must-have, but it is something that you might find some enjoyment out of. And here's what this thing looks like in action. It summons in this entity, and it'll help you out in combat. But if you have it drawing thread, it's gonna go away very quickly. This is on normal difficulty, and you can see the Borg are really just nailing it. So it's good if it's fighting alongside you, but on its own, it's not going to be super amazing. None of the new MUDs editions are really a must-have. If you're looking for something to pick up from the MUDs store and you're wanting something from a previous Halloween event, I would recommend Sylvia's Feline Charm. This is a device that turns you into a cat, which lets you run around much faster. I would say you're going to get much more use out of that thing than the 3 new items they added in. And as always, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. See you guys around.